Having made his debut in Borderlands 3's second DLC, Guns, Love, and Tentacles, Burton Briggs is a detective and private eye. In fact, his name isn't actually Burton Briggs, it's really Zingly B. Twitsquash, but he changed it because Burton Briggs sounded cooler, and he wouldn't get picked on.
You know, Burton Briggs isn't my original name. I changed it because I thought it sounded like a cool name for a detective. My parents named me Zingly B. Twitsquash. Childhood was rough.
As far as we're aware, he's lived on Xylorgos for quite some time. He was an only father, however. His daughter was named Iris. On this planet, he wound up taking up the profession of a private eye. It's also important to note that at some point in time, he wound up obtaining a very rare artifact known as the Seventh Sense. It was a pistol infused with Iridian technology that could see into the ether between the world of the living and the dead. The town of Cursehaven and Githian itself, however, he found uneasy. He took his daughter out to the Cankerwoods, away from everything, and built themselves a cabin where they wouldn't be bothered. One day, he had a run-in with the legendary hunter Aista, who demanded the two fight, as it's his way of respect and making friends. But the fight was postponed after realizing that Iris was there.
You turn around and go back where you came from, or I'll plug you.
Ha! So it's a slash you want, is it? We slash!
Wait! Not in front of her.
Oh, I understand. We will slash another time. Tell me, why have you made your home so far from town?
Because it's a wicked place, full of dark secrets. Out here, I think I can keep her safe.
Then I shall inform my hunters to keep their distance.
I'd appreciate that.
I do this for her. You and I are not friends. Not yet. Not until we slash.
Thank you.
Do not thank me. The woods are a dangerous place, and you will need all your kaif to stay alive.
Burton, as you'd expect from an only parent, works to protect his daughter from the dangers of the world, the wildlife, the flora, but also Githian's cult. As civilization began to form on the planet, residents picked up on when the cult's renewals would happen. Whenever Eleanor's husband needed a new host body, people would be taken and sacrificed to Githian, while someone else would be taken to serve as the host body he would possess. Despite living out in the Cankerwood, he was not far enough away from the cult. One day while the two were out on the walk, they were both ambushed by Grons, and Iris was kidnapped and taken.
Iris, wait up! Don't get so far ahead!
Iris, run! No! Don't you touch her! Iris!
Burton made his way as fast as possible to the altar where the ceremony takes place, but it was too late. Iris was nowhere to be seen, and Vincent had been renewed. As an act of anger and self-defense, Vincent tries to attack him where he shoots him down, killing his new host body, but it turns out the new body was actually Iris herself. Burton had just killed his own daughter. He couldn't bear what he just did. Likely wallowing in grief, he made his way to the lodge to drink his sorrows away, and some way, somehow, whether it be because of Githian's energy by itself, or that in combination with his grief, Burton developed a curse, much like everyone who lives in Githian's presence. He was inflicted with memory loss. Details about his life began fading away into a dark fog. But before he had fully forgotten Iris, he buried her deep within a tomb where she could remain undisturbed. He had left his pistol there in remembrance. But little did he know that while she was dead, her soul was not yet laid to rest. She existed in a realm between the living and the dead. Githian's cult was actually working with technology to open this rift between worlds, but to do so, They needed Burton's 7th Sense gun as it was merged with Iridian technology. But because he buried the gun, the artifact went missing. Burton's memory eventually completely went away. Hardly even being capable of remembering his own name, he forgot all about his daughter. But it seems despite the curse, the memory of Iris was still scratching at the back of his mind. He chose to investigate this hunch as he felt it was important. He would slowly begin collecting notes and recording his findings, but this was made difficult due to his memory loss. He eventually decided to leave a trail for himself to follow for this exact purpose. He made it as far as the graveyard, but yet again found himself forgetting what it was he was doing. It was in this graveyard that he came across the Vault Hunters. Mancubus had pointed them in his direction. Being a private eye, he believed that he could help them, where he assists the characters in getting into the Dustbound archives, forgetting what it was he was doing in the graveyard in the first place, thus repeating his cycle. Later on, he enlists the Vault Hunters to help him uncover the mystery of the clues that he left behind. The clues once again lead him to the cemetery, which is what he was doing there when he initially met the Vault Hunters. It is here that they uncover the tomb of Iris and reclaim Burton's old pistol. With the pistol recovered, the cult sense its powers and try to ambush them to reclaim it and open the gate between worlds. Through their help, he manages to retrace his steps back to the workshop the gun was originally crafted at, and to the Dustbound archives. It is here that he recalls that Iris is his daughter. Burt goes on to take the machine the Grons were using to open a portal and combine that with his gun so the two can cross over and revisit the memories from his past. Upon entry, he remembers everything and is forced to relive the memory of his daughter's kidnapping and death. Before the memory can finish, he leaves and heads straight to the lodge to drink away his sorrows. Fortunately, the Vault Hunters save Iris from the other world and reunite Burton with his daughter. It is at the lodge he can finally get some closure on his memories, as she forgives him and is capable of moving on to the afterlife.
As soon as we went into that place, I remembered everything. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't relive that moment again. When it happened, it broke me. And I've been trying to put the pieces back together ever since. Please, tell me she's safe now. Tell me she's at peace.
There's someone here who wants to speak to you, Burton.
Huh?
Papa.
Sweetie, I'm so sorry. I didn't know it was you. I couldn't save you.
It's okay, Papa. Don't cry.
No, it's not okay. It's never gonna be okay. Because you're gone. I'm so sorry.
I forgive you, Papa. And I think I can leave now.
No. I love you too, sweetie. Always.
Burton thanks the characters, but is still clearly torn up about what he did. But for now, that does it for the history of Burton Briggs. Another fun fact about him is that despite being inflicted with memory loss, one memory he can't forget was a time that he farted in his 3rd grade homeroom.
The mind's a fickle thing. The memories you want have a way of going missing. But fart in 3rd grade homeroom, well, that has a way of staying with you.
He also had a lover at one point, clearly because of the child, but similarly he can't remember who she was aside from the attitude and the fact that she had one eye.
She blew into my life like a Category 5 hurricane, full of bluster and with one eye. Now if I could just remember who she was.
But hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the history of Burton Briggs. Definitely a sad and tragic story on his end once you learn everything as it unfolds. But if there's another character you'd like for me to do the history of, then be sure to let me know in the comments below, and until next time, I'll see you in the next video.